conditions. Hernandez Govan is accused of recruiting co-defendants Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith to kill Memphis rapper Adolph Thornton Jr., better known as Young Dolph.
Both sides agreed to bond, with the prosecution saying the state wants to more clearly define the role Govan played in the conspiracy. Bonding out for Govan comes with some rules. He'll be on house arrest and he can only leave.
Well, Govan posted his $90,000 bond today. He was indicted on first-degree murder, criminal attempt first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder charges, and was previously held without bond. Prosecutors and his defense came to an agreement to grant bond today with conditions.
From the anniversary of me losing Adolph, and this almost year has been the most challenging year I've ever had to face in my life. And it's like the closer I get to this year mark, man, I just be so like, it's like trying to be
conditions.
YouTube family, this your guy DJ Blessone. Thank you for watching another episode of IsmokeHiphop Live. It's Halloween time and things have gotten spooky today. Now, we don't know what's going on with Jovan Hernandez, but we do know the judges who had basically enabled his situation and set bond for him was kind of very weird. It was the lowest reported one for a minute. Now, we do know bond exists because people like me or you or any other innocent people shouldn't have their life ruined because of the lies others tell on them. So we do understand bonds are necessary. And before we get started with these receipts and everything, we need you guys to look at this disclaimer. Listen, rumors can make you hate innocent people and love the hypocrites. Be wise. So when I do this in the right way, man. There's been a lot of skeptic things involving in this case that let you know a lot of things ain't what is made up to be. So let's go into some of those things that we do know. We know Lotta Cash, when she died, her uncle made a hidden message.
I'ma make you feel my pain. And we hustlers, but I'ma make you feel my pain.
Now, the reason I played that, because the father, you feel me, Jovan, he wanted a message and something to be deciphered, and he posted this right here on the Facebook November 9th 2022 when she died, and he said, "Your uncle made this song talking about you, baby. I know you will be able to decipher the message in the hook. I'm almost there." Like, weird, bro, because that can mean a whole lot of things you can interpret, but I fell back from that. If you don't know who's Lotta Cash, his daughter, this was the beautiful queen who was unfortunately found and killed. She was the rapper of Lil Uzi Vert. She also was in talk with Kodak Black and Sniper Gang to join the team as well, and it was a sad situation that happened. Now, the father did try to warn her because he would post this picture with him and her and family and friends together, and you guys could read that. I'm not about to read it, but you guys could see he loved and adored his daughter, but he tried to get her out the streets. He knew what it was and what was coming, and a lot of people are alleging, you know, other rap groups such as CMG and Yo Gotti as the reason why she died, because the Get Back gang from Dolph did their thing. Now, this ain't me snitching. This is what's out there. I'm not saying who did what, when, or where. These can't be used in court. None of my videos could be used in court. Now, let's carry on before the weirdos get in the room. Now, if you guys wanted more into the daughter situation, this was what we've seen and what we already known that got. Now, what's tricky about this situation was the criminal record, because if you look at what he was able to get with that bond, it's not only that, they actually looked out for him, and I'll get into that more. They lowered it so he can get the $90,000 bond, which was essentially $9,000 to get out after this type of record and being on the scene. I'm not saying he did this or that, but being on the scene of criminal situations in the past, even if he is innocent, it was kind of brazy. He got the lowest charge than anybody else. When you're looking at these old tweets, and it tells you here, you can see other people accused him a year and a half ago of being the killer, because he wrote something about the shots or whatever, and people like Laura Wade said, "You killed Teezy, but your day coming." all y'all gonna be together. She said, facts, he did. Somebody going to get straight drop stepbrother next. I don't know who straight drop stepbrother is or nothing, but these are clues and things that's like, whoo, like we ain't snitching or none of that. This is publicly on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. And when we know who TZ is, before I continue, you know, Trula member, you know what I'm saying, you can see him with most of the guys in these pics, with as well Youngster and Gotti, and you can see TZ, he loved the hell out of Jovain, and he tells you, my big brother going down that road to do a light sentence, not a life sentence. This nigga always been behind me ever since that day one, my first day out of jail. You flew to, man, y'all can read the rest of that, man. I gotta keep going with what we're bringing up, how this case and situation is getting more funny with 12 and Judge Lee Coffey. But as you can see here, these are what Facebook folks can have attached and put together and make strings of things that we already showed, you know what I mean? And then this dude on Facebook who hit us up and told us that Jovain Hernandez is going to be a government witness in this Young Dolph case because he already did it. You guys could read that yourself. These are his words, not mine. I don't put that snitch jacket on nobody. You dig what I'm saying? I fall back and I could care less. I ain't 1090 Jake, but I'm bringing it up with the receipts for this actual documentary that we're doing right here. Now, when you look closely, they said Jovain is a government witness according to this paperwork that Tony put up, not me. This is the paperwork of Tony. He put up and showed you a situation December 5th 2012 where one of several witnesses, including Hernandez Jovain, was actually part of state's, you know what I'm saying, testimony, meaning i.e. informant type of work. Now, we don't know how substantial this paperwork is, so I don't want to, you know, go off and saying these are our words. So you guys would have to go research all that. I didn't even research it. I'm just bringing you what's out there people are accusing Jovain of. Now, you see this queen over here. She threw this out in the DMs and the message boards and said, man, y'all have to think smarter than this. His records are sealed. More than likely, he is cooperating. Dolph case is a very high profile case. They have bigger fish to fry. His case is a huge RICO. We do know about the CMG alleged RICOs. People have been talking here, blase. And once you say things, they come into fruition. If you don't believe me, read this here. This was November 1st when Hernandez Jovain was on Facebook laughing at clowns for implicating people they don't even know in a murder. And he called them weirdos. Now, what's weird about this is 9 days later, he would be arrested for the situation of the Young Dolph killing. That was a little bit eerie feeling. So let's just go to the actual video of that when he was actually arrested.
Conditions. Hernandez Govan is accused of recruiting co-defendants Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith to kill Memphis rapper Adolph Thornton Jr., better known as Young Dolph. Conditions. Hernandez Govan.
Not only that, he and Straight Drop actually lived right by the white Benz that was found that day. This white Vane, 9 days after that post he was charged with first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder connected to the broad daylight shooting of Young Dolph at Makeda's Homemade Cookies on Airways Boulevard, November 17, 2021. And he appeared in front of Judge Lee Coffey. But what's weird, all these things are happening around November time frame. Now, the $90,000 bond is kind of wild. I don't care what you tell me. The court documents also state that the family of Young Dolph was made aware of the bond agreement and stand behind the state's recommendation in these actions. See, you got to pay attention. The family didn't want him out there like that. The state did those recommendations. In my opinion, the family only approved of it allegedly for that get back, because we know the scoreboard is like 50-something to 3, and that get back is nasty. If I'm the family members, I would want the F-boys to be out there too, who had anything to do with the death of my folks and my people, you dig? But there's more information that the reporter hasn't even shown y'all or provided. You don't stay in jail for 6 months waiting for a trial with no bail available, and then all of a sudden bail becomes available without there being more to the story. Bro, there's more to the story. Something is wrong with the evidence case, or he's cooperating, i.e. the people who are talking about the situations with him being a rat, not me, what people are saying. Now you can see right here the bond situation. You know what I'm saying? He violated a bond situation and didn't even get in trouble. That's what was kind of wild about it. He violated it, and all that happened was the judge just gave him a nice little conversation. Let's get to that right quick.
Govan, you should be
accused of masterminding the plan to kill Memphis rapper Young Dolph, almost ended back in jail after his court hearing today. This is the second time that Hernandez Govan faced the judge since being released from jail on bond.
Now, I don't know if you could have heard that, but I was trying to show you the videos. Go to my videos I uploaded earlier and you'll see this judge funny behavior, because what's weird about the judge is he gives lengthy, notorious sentences as far as bonds and all that. He gives strong ones, but for this case he didn't give a strong one, which made people feel uncomfortable. Now, they brought up the medical conditions that, you know, Govan had. You guys can pause and read that yourself. I'm not going to get into that. And it just gives you even more of an uncomfortable feeling of what's really going on behind the scenes. Now, read what I wrote on Reddit. I need you guys to read this. Pause it and read it, but I'll help you read it. It says the lawyers have made this recommendation. Basically, the court has no objections, no problems with the bond that's been recommended in lieu of a bond hearing. Coffey said he anticipates Govan will make bail, which is the judge who just said that. If he does, he will be placed under house arrest and supervision. He will only be allowed out of house arrest for medical and attorney visits. According to the consent order, the state has more clearly determined the role that the defendant played in the alleged conspiracy, that safety and medical concerns exist to militate in favor of alternative custody arrangements for the defendant, and that the parties have agreed to a bond amount with arrangements for alternative restrictions and supervisions of the defendant pending trial. But y'all could read all that. Basically what I wrote, the main one here is Straight Drop, who is accused of the payments to the alleged gunman, is scheduled for a court, you know what I'm saying, hearing Friday that already passed, but he was held on a $300,000 bond, more money than the guy who's alleged to orchestrate the crime. Then you got he's being charged of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, almost lesser than what the dude who allegedly, you know, orchestrated this, they want us to believe. And then you look at Straight Drop and Cornelius Smith, who are being held without bond on top of that. Let's get to that, man. Look at these charges alone that this man Govan is being charged with, but yet he has a $90,000 bond coming from a judge that's known as doing the most to get dudes out the way when it comes to bonds, making sure they can't even touch daylight. You know what I mean? Pause everything that I'm putting on the screen. Let's get to the video. If you don't believe some things and you think it's really a reclusive type like situation, you feel me? Let's fall back and listen how a snitch came forward, and that's why we think he was only given a $90,000 bond situation, and he might allegedly be cooperating with the state. We don't know. That's why we have to stay tuned, but listen to this.
We've come into some information about Mr. Govan's role and medical conditions that make us think that this is the best resolution in order to get justice for the case.
So at the end of the day, the court cited safety and medical concerns as two of the reasons for the bond. That case is set to continue July 13th.
I don't know, man. This get a little bit more creepy because we can go back and forth to several of the things in the situation, not just what people are putting out there on Facebook or whatnot, but I need you guys to pay attention in full detail to the scale of things and how they get unwarranted and how they flow towards different patterns, and a shifting in the climates gets to happen. Because at the end of the day, man, we remember when Straight Drop got caught with the drugs in the facility, and you would have think it's worse, yet he won his appeal to allegedly remove the judge. Let me just play that video right quick, because a lot of the things are done backwards, and if you say something, you're exaggerating.
News right now, we've just learned of new trouble for one of the suspects in Young Dolph's murder. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office confirming to us that Johnston Johnson is under investigation after he was allegedly caught with drugs and a phone inside the Shelby County Jail. It's not clear when that discovery was made. Johnson has been held at 201 Poplar since January of 2022. Johnson, who has a street name stage name, if you will, Straight Drop, lost his phone privileges late last year after he recorded a rap song from inside the jail. He's one of 4 charged in connection with Young Dolph's killing back in November of 2021.
Which makes no sense to me, because he got caught with the drugs, the cell phones and everything. So when the judge actually does the little situation and reprimands him, then the judge gets in trouble for doing it because it's on pre-biasness and it can hurt the case. So you don't know if the judge is in on the take, he sabotaged the case, or if the judge tried to do it the right way, but other higher ups are trying to sabotage the Young Dolph situation. See, I match precepts upon precepts, and you have to do that with actual information. Now let's get back to the negotiations that were going on. It seems like certain criminals, alleged criminals, they get favors. Listen.
Which is set for March 11th.
But I think the judge is more concerned about his safety. I really do.
Govan attorney says discussions about the case continue.
We're still in negotiation, and my client is looking forward to bringing this to an end.
The next time
I don't know if you guys could have heard that or not, but they're still in negotiation. I've never heard that lingo being spoken in murder cases like that, where you claim you have all the evidence on the people and the parties involved. Therefore, you got to ask yourself, do they have anything for real on the likes of Straight Drop, on the likes of Govan and Cornelius Smith? And even if they do, how come it's taking long like this? The duration of process is being, elongated until a longer dates and longer day. Now with the judge not even being there, who's to say this not gonna even be pushed back to 2025, if you ask me, because it's long ago was supposed to be starting already. You claim you have X, Y, and Z, but you couldn't match with not even the hidden key. Now you gotta listen, I'm not trying to rhyme, I'm not trying to rap, but there's been this right here.
Hernandez Govan is accused of recruiting co-defendants Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith.
You're being accused of recruiting them and doing all that, but yet you've got the lesser charge than anybody else. Now these things let you feel uncomfortable because you're seeing pics like these floating around with Govan and Big Jook, which is Yo Gotti's brother, and you got a lot of people posting several things to make you say you know what I mean, like what's really going on here, what's really good here. And you gotta look at the situations for even people who's trying to say who's a rat and who's not. I'm gonna leave you guys with this, at least with the beautiful wife of Young Dolph, because she wrote a heartfelt letter. You guys can pause that and read it, but I'm gonna go on to that video.
I had to come on here because today is a week from the anniversary of me losing Adolph, and this almost year has been the most challenging year I've ever had to face in my life. And it's like the closer I get to this year mark, man, I just be so it's like trying to be positive about something so messed up. It comes to a breaking point to where it's like, it's really just unfair, man. It's like, anybody know as a parent, like mothers get that end of the stick to where kids challenge mothers. And when you have that parent to add value to the household, you got that father's voice to just cut shit out. And for a while I've been noticing like not having that voice in my household, how my kids challenge me, and I'll try to overcome it. I'll try to push through. I focus really, really a lot on just being a great parent. But the thing is with my children, the things that they experiencing is because like they're going through hurt and they feeling like something. And I had to come on here because